tired of the drama. You use your words like they are knives. Trying to be tough all the daytime.
That's so good.
You try to make
Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie. I am a British and US RN, and in this video, as you can probably see by the title, I want to explain to you all and show you all how I planned my time, how I got myself organized, and how I knew how much time I needed to study before taking the NCLEX. I'm going to show you all how I use my free study guide, which is available in the description below, which will help to plan your time and how to get yourself organized, and you'll know from that when you can book your NCLEX exam if you already haven't booked it. So stay tuned. So why is it essential to get organised for the NCLEX exam? It sounds like a really simple thing that not everyone has to do, but honestly, in my opinion, it is such an essential thing because it can relieve so much stress, so much anxiety for so many people. If you feel like you don't need to do this and you're due to take the NCLEX soon, then go ahead and do your thing. That's totally fine. But if you're anxious about, oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff to study, I don't know whether I'm going to fit it all in, where do I even start with getting studied for the NCLEX? If you're an international RN and you have no idea where to start because you didn't go to school out here and you know your mind's just going crazy, then I highly recommend watch this video. So let's get started. Everyone studies in different ways. Everybody gets stressed over different things. It might be taking the exam themselves, but for me, one thing that really stressed me out was, what do I need to study? How am I going to get all this studying done in a certain period of time? Once I received my ATT, my authorization to test, my stress was, oh my gosh, when do I take the exam? I've got all this stuff to study, but how much time do I really need to study? This is when I created this little method of what do I need to study and where do I fit it in. It just relieved this stress and anxiety for me so much. So if you're due to take the NCLEX in the future, or you're an international RN that's hoping to take the NCLEX in the future, I highly recommend continue to watch and save this video. As I mentioned, I've got a free study guide in the description below, and I'm going to bring this into play in this video. So step one, if you already have your exam booked or you know roughly what month you want to take the NCLEX, the first thing you need to do is jump onto Google, do an image search and print off a blank calendar. Just like this one, which obviously I've wrote in it, but print off a blank calendar for each month that you have. So for instance, if you're hoping to take the NCLEX exam in September, we're currently in July 2020, so you'll print off July, August and September 2020 blank calendar. Once you've completed step one and you've printed off the calendars up to the months that you're hoping to take the NCLEX or you've booked to take the NCLEX, then jump to my channel, go in the description box of this video and print off my study guide, which is totally free. This is my version. This is the one that I just wrote up myself, and your version is a lot better. It's a lot neater, a lot tidier, looks way better. But it's basically everything that I studied for the NCLEX. I made this study guide for myself because as an international RN, I had no idea of every little thing I needed to cover. Obviously, in schools in different countries, there's a lot of stuff that's covered differently, and there's so many topics to go over. If you're studying for the NCLEX or you know about the NCLEX, then you know there is so much stuff to cover, and that can be so overwhelming. As an international RN, I needed to make sure that I was going to cover everything. When I took the exam, my knowledge was up to American standards, and I wasn't just referring to my British knowledge of nursing, which could be completely different out here. So I made this guide to make sure that I could study everything within the time frame. So for me, I created a list of everything I needed to study. I'll flip this over in a second and I'll show you guys from the opposite side of the camera exactly what is on this. And as I said, you can access a better version of this, a PDF version, in the description box below. Highly recommend getting these two pieces together.
Okay, so you've got your blank calendar that you've printed off, and you've got your study guide, which tidier version, and it's a PDF typed up. Study guide, we've got an adult section with extra little bits which are covered on the exam quite a lot. You've got pediatrics, leadership and management, fundamentals, maternal and newborn, psychiatric, and then you've got a farm section as well with all the different types of farm to cover and go over. So this should be everything that would possibly be covered on your exam. Your next step is going to be start with the calendar and cross off in pencil the days that you know you can't study. So for me, I knew I wasn't going to study really over Christmas because we had family here from out of town. May still be working a part-time job or something. So the days that you know you can't study, just cross off in pencil. And I recommend doing that in pencil in case you possibly get the day off or you end up being able to study that day. You can just erase it and then get your study guide and then figure out if you do need to study everything, then you're going to obviously take everything from the study guide onto the calendar so you can see how much time you've got. Are you going to be able to study everything from this guide, or have you got to make up some time somewhere? Sorry, my pages are blowing all over the place because I'm sitting outside. So go through it, fit in everything in pencil in case you write down that you need to study cardiology here and then respiratory, but actually you need more time to study cardiology. You can erase it, and then what I did was I wrote on here what I needed to cover that I didn't have time to cover, and it really helped me make sure I could fit it in because it gave me the motivation, because I was like, everything's full, I've got no extra days to study because I was testing on the 1st, but I've got extra stuff up here, so I need to make time to study. So that's what I did, and it worked for me. It gave me the extra motivation, so I highly recommend using a pencil. And then obviously as you complete a day of studying, you can grab your pen and you can erase it and you can write in what you actually studied. That's what I did. I also took extra notes. So for instance on here I also wrote down what percentages I got when I was testing, so I could see, for instance here I only got 36%. I knew that was one of my weak areas, so I could go back and study it. So
obviously everyone's background in nursing is different. Some people will have just come out of nursing school and there'll be areas of this study guide which you may have recently studied and you can just tick it off straight away and you won't need to cover that excessively. And then there's going to be people like me who may be international and they've got to cover everything, but as I'm an adult trained nurse, I didn't really need to cover the adult portion too excessively, but all the other areas that I didn't study too much during my degree, I did need to cover excessively. So everyone's calendar and everyone's going to do this slightly different, but you can all use it in the same way. So let me get back to the calendar.
So that's what I recommend doing. Start out with pencil. As you complete a day, write it in pen, but this helps to give you an overview of what you've got to cover, how much time you've got. Are you going to cover everything for the exam?
So along with using the study guide and just figuring out when I was going to study what, which really helped relieve a lot of stress and anxiety for me, because I could see when I was going to study what and that I knew I was going to fit everything that I needed to study in before the exam. I also, which might seem really obvious, but I also gave myself a separate notebook for each area that I was going to study. So I had one for adult, one for peds, you know, just every little section I gave myself a blank notebook, which may seem obvious, but not everyone would think to do it. So I just wanted to drop that in there because it helped me when I was studying. I could just grab the notebook that I was studying from. All the notes were together so that when I was ready to take the test and I just wanted to skim through all my notes, I knew which notebook to grab to go through to study. I did have a particular way to study pharmacology because even though I worked in the UK as an RN for 18 months, I knew that pharmacology was going to be very different out here, and there was going to be new names and new drugs that I'd never come across before. So I knew that I needed to go over pharmacology and create a new pharm binder. I am going to do a completely separate video on pharmacology because there's so much to go over, and some people are going to want to know what is in my pharmacology binder and how I studied for it, and then there's going to be people that don't care. So I'm not going to drag another 20 minutes of pharmacology into this video. Pharmacology will be a separate video. So stay tuned for my pharmacology organisation and how I studied pharmacology. That is how I got organised. That is how I planned my time prior to taking the NCLEX If you do download the free study guide and you felt that something should be added to it, please let me know down in the comments below, because I will happily edit it and keep updating the study guide so that it's ready for all the new nurses to come in the future and everyone that's going to use the guide. Also, even if you download it and found it really helpful, please let me know, because that would be just music to my ears if I know that my study guide has helped someone out there. So please let me know if it's helped you to get organised for the NCLEX. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new here. I have lots more nursing and NCLEX videos coming up, as well as family life and Florida life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it and it possibly helped you in some way. And if you do have the time, please drop me a comment down in the comment section below. Thanks again. See you soon.